Hello everyone and welcome to Storytime. Today's story is Norah's rhyming novella, chapter 2. As you recall, in the first chapter, Norah's mom and Norah's dad gave her and Oliver some great news about them having a baby. So we'll find out what happens next in this chapter. Norah was awoken the next day by a gentle shake. Oliver was vibrating her body, trying to get her to wake. "What is it?" she said, her voice all cracky, her mind still half asleep. "Twins meeting, your room, in 20 minutes, Oliver quickly squeaked. Norah yawned and nodded, rubbed her eyes and flopped back down. A quick little nap for 5 more minutes was what she needed right now. A few minutes later, her eyes opened, and her heart started to race. She threw off the covers and dashed to her room, getting ready for what she thought was the worst case. Only 8:45, she thought really hard. What time was the meeting supposed to be? Well, it's in my room. I don't really care. I could wait until Oliver comes to me. She got ready, changed her dress, and went to go brush her teeth. In the back of her mind, wondering what time that the two of them would meet. Back in her room, she got out a book and sat back down on her bed. Soon there was a knock on the door. "Come in," loudly she said. Oliver came in, all dressed up, and so the meeting began. A talk about the baby's gender was the first on Oliver's plan. "It will be a girl," Norah said, loudly and with such passion. "Nope, it's a boy," Oliver replied, in his unwavering fashion. They argued hard, back and forth, and around in circles. Still with no evidence, they argued until both of their faces were purple. When Norah had had quite enough, she said, "Look, why are we fighting? Mum and Dad said that they don't know, so it's no use continue on exciting this argument that we are having, as this would lead us nowhere. So let's just stop before it's too late and begin to clean out the air." "Okay then," replied Oliver. "I know you are correct, but in this case of our parents, we can employ some forensics. We can search for unknown clues in all of our splendor to determine what Mum and Dad want as this baby's new gender." "That sounds real good, but I feel that we have to be quite subtle, 'cause they might yell at us and we won't be able to snuggle in their beds together with them, at least for a short while. And there are days when we both need their warm and comforting smiles." "Sure," said Oliver. "Let's make a bet. We'll write down on these papers the information that we think we'll get. Then open it up at 5 p.m. tonight, a little before dinner, so to discover if we're correct, to see if we have a winner." Oliver gave her some paper, and on it, I guess she wrote, "Girl equals Mum, and Dad as well," and put it in a small envelope. "I bet it is, but I have to ask, what will be the stakes?" Norah was nervous, her heart slightly pounding. She felt like this was a mistake. "How about something small? We'll bet using our favorite foods. For you, it would be cheesecake, and for me, of course, it would be any seafood." Norah thought about the terms and thought it a very good deal. She extended her hand and they shook on it, hoping that cake was in the next couple of meals. "Well, let's start," Oliver said. "You go and work on Mom, and I'll go work on Dad, and hopefully we can get information from the both of them." Norah nodded in agreement. Oliver's face had a big grin. "I can get this done easily," and he left with a small spin. When Oliver left, Norah filled up with a dump truck full of dread. "I'm not good at this sleuthing." With her fingers, she massaged her head. She laid in her bed, looking up, hoping for some inspiration, trying to push down the upcoming feeling of pure agitation. She knew that Oliver was good at interrogations and clues, but that was only if he had access to the proper tools. She remembered a time when all he needed was 3 glasses, water, and a spoon to figure out how to help his friend get in line and start singing in tune. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and thought about that delicious cake. Okay, she thought, I'm fine with that. It's not like it was a special keepsake. Dad called out for them to come from downstairs in the kitchen. Breakfast time, everyone. And that's when the hunger kicked in. Okay, after breakfast, I'll search around. I'll have to go on a hunt for these clues that would help know what gender the parents want of these little grunts. After breakfast and cleanup had finished, around the house she started to roam, searching for clues, hoping to find some that would lay around the home. That's silly, she thought. Why don't I just go directly to the source? Even if I said we should be discreet. But Mum would probably be easy to coerce into telling me what I think, the thing that I really need. How hard can it be? I will talk to her. I know Mum loves me indeed. She exited the playroom and quickly went downstairs to find Mum to see if she could get Mum's thoughts to be shared. She found Dad in the kitchen preparing for the lunch, and Mum was in the living room reading Failure to Launch. She went up to Mum, sat on the floor, and counted, trying to be calm. When she got to 10, she took a deep breath, trying her best to ease her qualms. So how is the book you're reading? She asked Mum nonchalantly. It's not that good. The movie is better, Mum replied very promptly. And to be honest, I'm having a hard time sitting around trying to concentrate. Rubbing her belly, she smiled softly. This baby's been on my mind as of late. Ah, this is lucky. I can get something, Norah thought to herself. Now I don't have to eavesdrop like one of those elves on the shelf. What have you been thinking about? She probably too eagerly said. Oh, just baby stuff, what we need, like clothing, toys, and a bed. Do you want to see something? Mum asked her with a look. She stood up from the couch and placed down the boring book. Sure, Norah said, and using the table, quickly jumped to her feet. She directly walked behind Mum, trying to be really discreet. Mum went to the hall, opened the door, and walked down into the basement. And on a shelf, she took out a box. Nora's eyes opened in amazement. The box was full, almost overflowing, of Nora's and Oliver's old things. Clothing and photos and other stuff, of even her pair of old fairy wings. When you were young, you can't remember, but we had so much fun. Dressing you up in both the same things, the people around us were stunned. And you two were really cute. I hope for it right now. To have more twins, to do the same things, would simply make me go, wow. She hugged Norah ever so gently. I love you every day. You and your brother are both so special. You have made our lives very gay. Norah looked into the box and at the ribbon that she once wore. Whenever the new baby will come, it won't be them anymore. She only found out yesterday news of this baby coming, but Norah found herself really jealous before shame started to fill up her tummy. We have to share Mummy and Daddy. It is the only way, she thought. We have to share the things we love. That was what she was taught. Can I ask you a question, dear Mumsy dear? And can you answer in all honesty? If you had to choose one, what sex would you want the brand new baby to be? Well, if I had to be honest, Mum let out a tiny chuckle, I would say I'd want a girl. She paused, and then Nora's hair she ruffled. That's what I thought. One guess correct, Nora thought as she started to beam. And what about Dad? What do you think? What would he add to the team? That one is hard. I can't really say, but you have to go and ask him. But what do you think? What would he say? Go on, go out on a limb. If I had to say, and this is a guess, that he would want a girl too, but he would say he'll be happy with both, as it would be our precious jewels. Mum tickled Nora. She let out a laugh. One of her answers now got confirmed. If I tell this to Oliver, it will surely make him swear. What's going on in your mind? Mum's voice broke through the silence. She didn't want to say anything. Nothing, Mum. It was what she said in defiance. Okay then, Mum responded without hiding her skepticism. Let's go back up. It's really hot, and I could go for a really long swim. I am too feeling quite hot. Can I join you in the pool? You don't have to ask. Of course you can, my crazy silly kazoo. She let out a peep, got onto her feet, and quickly ran to her room. Changed her clothes, got a towel, and back downstairs she zoomed. On her way out, she looked in the kitchen and saw her little brother, sitting on a stool in the kitchen, questioning their dear old father. She wanted to hear. She moved in closer, trying not to bother the pair. As she approached, Oliver turned around, and then he began to stare. Get out now! What are you doing? I'm working here, his mind screamed. Nothing, my brother, she said in a panic. I just wanted to get some ice cream. No, you can't, not before swimming. Dad seemingly was able to read her mind. You'll get cramps, and I am so busy. So it'll be hard if he gets in a big bind. Okay, Dad, she said. Sorry, Ollie, she thought. I shouldn't have come in. My bad. Oliver, you should go swimming too. It's hot in here, added Dad. Yeah. But Dad, come on, Oliver started. No buts, Dad quickly interrupted. Get changed. I'll be out, and I'll join you in too. And over to Oliver, he fluttered. He touched Oliver's cheek. We can talk more later. Maybe tonight. A meeting Dad prearranged. One more time, go quickly. Into your bathing suit. You go get changed. Oliver looked so much defeated, and he quickly moved past Nora. You, Dad said. It's not good to ask. Don't be like that Greek lady Pandora. What? She replied. The reference was weird. This made her clearly confused. Don't jinx all of this, as it might turn to a situation you cannot diffuse. Dad always was a superstitious man. He liked to leave things as they were, so not to upset the world and not let weird situations occur. I know what you two are up to, and I'm not going to say. What I want is a small secret, but the universe will give us what it may. Now go out to your mother. She's already waiting in the pool. He went up to his daughter and kissed the poor confused fool. I have no idea what Dad just said. His superstitions no one did follow. She left the kitchen, a little annoyed, but it was a pill that the family had to swallow. Hey, Boopy, Dad said, I understand that you and Oliver want to scout, but the things that we want are not what we get. So what use is it if I say it out? I would only get upset if what I didn't want comes true. You know how I am. I'm the same as you. Do you understand, my little boo-boo? Nora nodded and smiled and replied, I think I understand. Well, trying is good, and that's all I ask, as he moved in and took her hand. He gave it a squeeze, looked in her eyes, and on her forehead gave her a kiss. This more action she loved a lot and put her in a feeling of pure bliss. Go, Dad said finally, walking back to the stove to go back to continue to cook. Mum and Oliver are both waiting, as outside the window he gave a quick look. He gave him a nod and voiced out the teeniest, tiniest, and ran out to the pool to join Oliver and Mum. After swimming and a delicious lunch, to Nora's room they returned. They had a meeting and both agreed that the prize had not been earned. Dad said nothing. I tried to ask. He is tight-lipped. I'm so sorry. He dodged all my questions. He is so clever, like those chimps at the African safari. It's okay. We both know that Dad has always been hard to get anything from his lips. Mum is easiest by far. And so for today, they took a pause on arguing things about the baby. They agreed on the truce to become friends again and went down for a late afternoon tea. And that concludes chapter 2 of Nora's rhyming novella. I hope you enjoyed it. Join me next week for part 2 of Oliver's... What was it? Join me next week for part 2 of Oliver's dramatic opera, where we see Oliver's version of what happened today. Until then, I love you, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.